Hi, I'm Faust. I've recorded this too many times, so we're just gonna wing it and see what happens. Introductions. ORV is genuinely one of my favorite pieces of media ever. I've been meaning to reread it, and I'm hoping to introduce it to some people that wouldn't have checked it out otherwise. Full disclosure, I have the memory of a dead squid, so while I remember the major plot points, the rest of this behemoth of a novel is a mystery, and there's a lot of it. It's the upside of the heinous memory. I can experience something for the first time again if I give it enough time to disappear. So, we're going on this journey together. The format is one part audiobook and one part commentary mixed together. I'll read the novel out loud and record my screen so you can read along with me. Alternatively, you can just put it on in the background. I don't mind. I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions and jokes throughout the story, and it'll be a good time. The novel is broken up into arcs, which are further broken up into chapters. I'm debating whether to read this a chapter at a time or an arc at a time. Let me know your preference in the comments below. I'll also be pausing for a second at times to check my pronunciations against actual Korean speakers. I've gotten my government name butchered enough to not wish that on fictional characters, much less the ears of any Korean speakers in the crowd. Anyways, that's about all the housekeeping stuff. Skip to the timestamp in the description to get right to it. If you need more convincing to get into it, here's an overview. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is a lot of things. It's an isekai, Schrodinger's romance, the unreleased DSM-6. Hell, I'm pretty sure if you tried really hard, you could argue it's a manifesto. It starts with an office worker, Kim Doksha, who has dedicated the past 10 years of his life to reading an absolutely horrendous web novel and fighting for his life in the web novel forums after trying to recommend it. However, after 13 years of near daily updates, it's coming to an end. The day the novel ends is quickly eclipsed by the unfortunate onset of the apocalypse. Except, it's a familiar apocalypse. One Kim Doksha has been reading about for over a decade. Kim Doksha never got to see the conclusion to the protagonist's story in the web novel. Now he's determined to find the ultimate conclusion of this story, not only for himself, but for the protagonist he's cheered on over all these years. Interested? Then stick around and read with me. I'm so happy you're here. Alright, let's get into it. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Chapter 1. Prologue. 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. There's only 3? Okay, thought there would be a few more. Is there subpoints? Anyways, there are 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. I have forgotten some of them now. However, one thing is certain. You, who are currently reading these words, will survive. 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. Complete. A web novel platform filled the screen of my old smartphone. I scrolled down and then up again. How many times have I been doing this? Really? This is the end? I looked again and the complete was unmistakable. The story was over. 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. Author, TLS 123. 3,149 chapters. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World was a feature-length fantasy novel with 3,149 chapters. Its shortened name was Ways of Survival. I've been steadily reading this novel since the 3rd year of middle school. Even when I was bullied by the delinquents in my school, even when I had to enter a 3rd-rate local university since I screwed up my entrance exams, even when I was assigned to the military unit at the front line since the damn military draft lottery went wrong, and even now working as a contractor for a large subsidiary, still without a full-time job. Damn it, let's stop thinking about this. Anyway, love a man with a good anyway. Author's words. Thank you so much for reading Ways of Survival up to here. I will come back to you with an epilogue. Ah, the epilogue still remains. Then the next chapter is really the last one. From the end of my childhood all the way to adulthood, a long journey spanning over 10 years. I felt a mixture of desolation that a world was coming to an end, along with a sense of fulfillment from finally being able to reach the conclusion of that world. I opened the comment box for the last chapter and rewrote a sentence several times. Kim Doksha. Writer. Thank you for everything in the meantime. I am looking forward to the epilogue. They were sincere sentences. Ways of Survival was my life's novel. It wasn't the most popular, but it was the best novel for me. There were many words I wanted to say, but I couldn't write them. I was afraid my careless words would hurt the writer. An average of 1.9 hits per chapter, an average of 1.08 comments. This was the average popularity index of Ways of Survival. The number of views for the first chapter was 1,200, but it fell to 120 for the 10th chapter and then 12 for the 50th. By the time it was the 100th chapter, it was only 1. Hits, 1. I was overwhelmed by the feeling I got when I saw the numerous 1 that appeared next to the list of chapters. In some case, there was a 2, but that was likely someone pressing the wrong button. Thank you. The author published a novel with more than 3,000 chapters with just 1 hit per chapter over a period of 10 years. It was truly a story just for me. I pressed on the recommendation board and immediately started tapping on the keyboard. I have a dope novel to recommend. The author wrote me a free completed novel, so I should give him a recommendation. I clicked on the completed button, and comments quickly appeared. It looks like a new anti. I searched for this person's ID, and they recommended the same novel several times. Isn't his recommendation, banned? The author shouldn't do this here. Belatedly, it occurred to me that I wrote a recommendation a few months ago. In an instant, the dozens of comments were covered with rhetoric such as attention seeker or dumbass. My face became flushed. I was sure the author would also read this. So I hurriedly tried to delete my post, but I only got a message saying that it couldn't be deleted because it had already been reported. There was a bitter taste in my mouth at the thought that the sincerely written recommendation ended up being a stain on the novel's reputation. If they even looked a little bit, why didn't anyone try reading the interesting novel? I wanted to give a donation to the writer, but I couldn't afford it because I was a salary worker, barely able to make a living. Then I received a notification that a message had arrived. TLS 123. Thank you. A message flew in from nowhere. It took me a while to grasp the situation. Kim Doksha. The author? TLS 123. It was the author of Ways of Survival. TLS 123. I was able to complete it to the end thanks to you. I also won the competition. I couldn't believe it. Ways of Survival won a competition? Kim Doksha. Congratulations! What is the competition? TLS 123. You won't know it because it is an unknown competition. I wondered if he lied because he was ashamed, but I wanted it to be true. Perhaps I really didn't know. It might be a big hit on other platforms. I was a little sad, but it was good to have an excellent story spreading. TLS 123. I would like to send a special gift to you as a thank you. Kim Doksha. Gift? TLS 123. It is thanks to my dear reader that the story has come into the world. I gave the writer my email address as he asked. TLS 123. Alright, I got the monetization schedule. Kim Doksha. Wow, really? When will it start? This masterpiece should have been paid from the beginning. It was a lie. The Ways of Survival was a daily series, so I would have had to spend 3,000 won a month. 3,000 won was one convenience store lunch for me. TLS 123. The monetization starts tomorrow. Kim Doksha. Then the epilogue coming tomorrow will be paid? TLS 123. Yes, I'm afraid you'll need to pay for it. Kim Doksha. Of course, I have to pay. I will buy the last one. After that, there was no reply from the author. It looked like they logged out of the site. A sense of despondency settled in. Were they leaving without even replying now that they were successful? My admiration turned into petty jealousy. What was I so excited about? It wasn't like I had written the novel anyway. Will they give me a gift certificate? It'd be nice if it had around 50,000 won. Those were the naive thoughts I had back then. I knew nothing about what would happen to the world the next day. All right. And so it begins. A few points I'd like to bring up. 1. Kim Doksha, because this is definitely like the username. Kim Doksha uses his full government name on web novel forums, and I assume everywhere else, which I fear this man isn't long for this world. And two, can someone please get this man an internet safety course? He grew up in the internet, right? Like he should know he shouldn't be doing that, right? Especially if you're out here in the trenches defending this novel, because it really seems like you were creating. It seems like you have too many internet enemies with too much time on their hands to be using your full government name. I don't know, that's just me. That's just me. Is Faust my real name? Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. No. What kid would name their child Faust? Or what parent would name their kid Faust? Although, it has very nice meaning, although Johann Faust kind of ruined it for the rest of us, but anyways, back on topic. The this is I'd like to bring everyone's attention to this paragraph where he just goes on about how everything sucks in his life for a full paragraph and then hits you with that cool anyway topic change. King Deflector. King Deflector. Uh, God, I forgot how much I loved this novel. Well, I didn't, but I forgot how much I enjoyed reading it. All right. Well, let me know if you'd prefer longer or shorter videos, and anything that I can improve with the reading. See you next time. Bye-bye.